Hello again. Today, pretty excited because look what I got in the mail. So I ordered, and this is probably one of the first times I actually remember what I ordered, but I ordered 6 Trichocereus Hybrids from Brent Wiegand down in Southern California. He is a grower of a lot of the, actually I think he's the one that actually makes the hybrids. I think a lot of these are his crosses. And if you go on to Facebook on Torch Cactus, you can see pictures of a lot of his, probably most of his hybrids, and they're absolutely stunning. So I sent him a text or a message on Facebook, I don't remember. And he got right back to me like that same day, and it was during when all that rain was hitting down there. So as soon as the rain was done, he went, because I actually sent him a list of the ones that I wanted, and so he went to check and see what was available, sent me back pictures of the ones he had. I ordered them. He shipped them on Wednesday. Today is Friday. They're already here. I am a little concerned about this box because it looks like they played football with it, and it has a huge hole that goes all the way down in there, and then it's kind of smashed on the other side. Over here you can see it's all kind of crushed all right in here. So hopefully everything's okay, and let's find out. So we'll start with this one first, and just a piece of cardboard to kind of keep everything straight. And let me tip this down, there we go, and get the side out of the way. So a lot of packing peanuts. Okay, so we're gonna start with, let's figure out which end to get. These are a lot bigger than I was expecting. I was expecting them to be about half this size. You know what? Hold that thought, because I'm going to go get a pair of gloves, because these are pretty heavy. And it looks like this whole, that's the top of the cactus. Okay, that's the top, but it looks like it's far enough, so hopefully it didn't damage this cactus. The spines are still alive and well. So I'm going to go get some gloves on and a tray or something to set these in. So I'll be right back. Okay, so got my gloves, and I love these gloves. They're super soft, but they are pretty thick. And my dogs chewed a hole in my finger. So we're going to start. This first one is Flying Saucer. And this one has the really large blooms. And like I said, this is pretty heavy. So I want to really be careful. Get under here. There we go. Okay. So there goes the dirt. That's what I was expecting. And I didn't want that all over my kitchen table here. So I'm going to try and keep some of that on there while I get this paper towel off of here. So it feels pretty damp. Actually, I'm just going to let that dirt go. So he sends them bare root because it's easier to ship, and a little cheaper because they, he can pack them into this priority box. And that way you save a little bit of money on shipping. But he does say that if you want them shipped potted up, he will do that for you. And, it just costs a little more in shipping. So they're all going to pretty much look like this. But the flowers are what I'm after. And so, gosh, look how big that is. I was not expecting it to be that big. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is the first one, Flying Saucer. And I'm going to set it. You can see it's already bloomed this year. I'm going to see if I can turn it around without spilling too much dirt. I'll just turn it upside down so you can see where the spent flowers were. So it's already bloomed. And I think what he does is he takes cuttings off of the big mature plants. That way you get flowers sooner, you know, and so they'll bloom even though they're fairly small. So, you know what, I'm just gonna, because it looks like the letters went from one paper towel to the other. So I'm just gonna set the name right there so that I don't mix them up, because like I said, they probably are all gonna look the same. Okay, here's number 2. This one's a little smaller. Might be a little easier. Yeah, this one's not as big and heavy. This, I don't see a name on here. And I don't know if he put labels in here. I didn't see one in the other one. So I don't know what this one is. I believe it's upside down. Okay, that's the bottom. Yeah, I'll have to just, hopefully, you know, if they're all, rest of them are all labeled. He might have just, I don't see a label on that one either. Ooh. He might have numbered them. The invoice is in the other box, and I haven't looked at that yet. So maybe he did a, you know, 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. So this one is quite a bit smaller. And it's holding on to the towel a little bit, so I'm assuming it's pretty spiny. It looks like it's still got a flower bud on there. Oh, it does. So, oh, look at that. It's got 3. You know, it would be cool. Now, odds are it might drop these buds, but maybe not. I don't know which. You know what? If this was the one he showed me in the picture, I should be able to figure out which one it is, because I did notice one of the ones in the picture had buds on it. So I'll go back and I'll look. Okay, so let's go for number 3. Oh, this one's got a big clump of paper towel, so I'm assuming this has got a lot of roots. Let's take the paper off here. And this one is not labeled. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to figure out what that one was, because only one of them in the pictures, and I'm assuming he sent the ones that he showed the pictures. I think those were the exact plants I was getting, so I'll be able to look at it and see which one that was. If there's no what do you want to call it, Kiko. Oh, you know what, here's a label. Okay, so this one's First Light. And I'm gonna take my glove off for a second here. Where's my keys? Yeah, okay, so First Light, that should be this one because it fell out of here. And ooh, it's got a lot of roots. And you can see all those spines coming through. This is a really prickly one, and I don't want to get stuck, although I will. I always do, because I'm not very careful. Okay, so here I'm going to put, so I'll check the paper on that other one and see if there was a label in it, but okay, so we're gonna set this one here. You know what, look at these, look at how this, God, this one's really got some spines. I love the big spines on cactus. I love the ones with the big fishhook spines. So I'm going to lay this one down, and I will put them in dry soil, and I won't water them for a little bit because I want those roots to heal up if there's any damage to the roots. You kind of want them to heal up a little bit before you, before you water them. That way, if there's damage. Okay, here's another Betty Boom. Okay, this little one is Betty Boom. So maybe there's no label for this one, and that's why he wrote that one on the paper towel. So I'm going to save, because I got about 2 cups of soil that fell off in there, and I will reuse that in my pot. Okay, so Flying Saucer, Betty Boom, First Light. Cool. And I can see he uses a really gritty soil with, it looks like, a lot of pumice in there. Could be perlite. So I'm going to mix up a soil to match, but I think I might have to run to the nursery and get some pots. So these ones must be quite a bit smaller because this doesn't weigh very much. And here's my invoice. And I'm pretty excited because I'm going to put some pictures on here. Actually, I probably already have because that'll be in the earlier part of the video. But all the pictures of the flowers you see, I'm going to be taking off of his Torch Cactus page on Facebook. So those are Brent Wiegand's pictures. And so you can just see what these flowers look like. And I'll post, you know, I'm sure I already have this far in the video, but, you know, I didn't mention that earlier. So I need I can't work with gloves on. I need my fingers. I've always had such an issue trying to do stuff, and people are always like, why don't you put gloves on? Because I can't. I need to know what I'm doing. Okay. I can't see which way this goes. Okay, this is the top. So here is Arizona Sunset, and I'll relabel these tags because they're kind of faded. And you may not be able to hear it in my voice, but I am so excited to have these. I was watching Cactus Caffeine with Anna. It's a YouTube channel, and I watch her channel all the time. And she's in Las Vegas and has an amazing collection of cactus in her backyard. And she was down there visiting Brent in Southern California and made a couple of videos. She posted like 3 videos on her channel. So if you go to Cactus Caffeine on YouTube and just look at this past couple of weeks, you'll see these videos, and you know, he walks around the nursery. So this is Arizona Sunset. And yeah, these, if I lose the tags on these, because my memories, I'm terrible. I would have a hard time remembering which one they are, you know, because they're all the same, basically, you know, they're all the Trichocereus, so they're all very similar. But these are just different sizes, but some of them have very large spines, and some of them have almost non-existent spines, like Betty Boom. That one hardly has any spines at all. I see them on there. There's a lot of spines. I shouldn't say that. They're just very small. Where Arizona Sunset and First Light really has some big spines. Okay, here we go. One more. Be very careful. Make sure I'm still on camera. I keep forgetting to check that. So here is Heat Wave. So what I think I'll do is go down to Green Acres and get some pots. Now I know what size they are. I can get some pots that match. I'm just going to go with some just common terracotta. I think they'll look really good in with some pretty top dressing. So here's Heat Wave. And this one's got some pretty good thorns too. Well, spines, I should say, not thorns. So Arizona Sunset and Heat Wave are very similar. I would easily mix these up. And, but yeah, these look great. They're so nice and healthy looking. Okay, so I'll stick this little one here. And there should be one more in here. So I did also, he has a lot of echinopsis that I wanted. One in particular was something born something. Oh man, it had a gorgeous flower. I'll look it up and put a picture up. But I don't think he had any of the echinopsis available, because these are the ones, you know, he said was available. So this is Big Kahuna, which is funny because it's the smallest one here. But also really to Heat Wave and Arizona Sunset. Be very careful. I don't want to damage these roots anymore. They're already probably shocked from being ripped out of their pots, because these were all potted up in the pictures he showed me. So Big Kahuna, and I'll post a picture of this flower. This one was really pretty. This was one of my favorites. And there's some more that I want. There's one called Sunny that, from what I see, it seems like it's kind of hard to find, and you're only going to get a little small plant like this for about $50, if I remember correctly. So that's going to be on my next list that I send to him, because I actually had, I don't know, probably at least 15 plants on my list, and this is what he had available right now. So hopefully he'll have more available soon, because he propagates like crazy. His place is amazing. So I'm going to put this little one here and put a tag right there. And so I think I'm going to head over to Green Acres, and I'm going to get some terracotta pots, and then I'm going to come back and get these all potted up. And then, like I said, yeah, this is nice and gritty. Is this okay? This is perlite. So he mixes, it seems like a lot of perlite and maybe some sand in here. This one's really dry. So I will try to match that soil, and then I'll acclimate him. I was going to send him a message because I'm not sure. I think these were in full sun. I should be able to get them right back out in the sun. Maybe just give them some morning sun for a couple days, because they have been in a box for 2 days. But I can move them in and out on my little rolling table out there for a couple days, and then I should be able to put them right out in the full sun. I'm zone 9B here. I believe he's 9B where he's at. And I need to find out if these are going to be frost hardy, because I'm not sure. I may have to protect them over the winter. Now, I do have a couple of these plants that have been out. They were out all year last year. Actually, I have a couple, I think, that are in this same kind of family. My Echinopsis has been out for years. I've had it, and I haven't had any problem over the winter or over the summer. And it was in the backyard facing west, getting that hot west sun, full sun, hottest part of the day for as long as I've had it. And now I moved it out to the front, but it's farther away from the house, so it still pretty much stays in the sun all day. So these guys, I need to figure out where I'm going to put them, because I really want to baby these ones. I want to have these blooms every year. I want to make sure I do everything I can to, make sure I get nice blooms from them. So I just need to make a label, because this one didn't have a label in it. He just labeled the thing. So I just need to make a label. These are pretty faded. I might actually just get new labels for it so that they're bright, and get them potted up. And then we'll check back, and, maybe I'll let you watch me pot them up. We'll see. That's sometimes kind of boring. I was going to put them all together in I have a quarter barrel, and I thought about that. And actually, now that I see the size of them, I actually could do that. And they could probably stay for a couple of years in that same big barrel. But the problem is, if I do need to move them in the wintertime to protect them a little, it'll be too heavy in that barrel. So I don't know. I think I'm going to pot them up in terracotta for now. And I'll get some cool top dressing for them to really make them stand out. And they'll be amazing. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. So cactus and succulent soil from E.B. Stone. But this has a lot of organic matter in there. And I don't want, I had a pair of scissors. I don't know what I did with them. So, right here. And then, so I just went ahead and grabbed another bag of hummus, because I want to add that to it also. And just make it a little bit more gritty than what this is for these cactus. I was going to add some sand to it as well, but if it's in the summer here, we're really dry, so I do have to water my cactus. I know a lot of people, they don't water them. They think that they can just go, all year. Like if you have the golden barrels, you don't really have to water those. They do really well with just what water they get from rain in the wintertime. They store it, but it's a huge bodied cactus, and it's the ones that are already established, so I do water my smaller cactus sometimes a couple times a week, depending on how hot and dry it's been, and they seem a lot happier that way. So, but if I use a little more organic soil, less gritty soil, I don't have to water it as often because it doesn't dry out too fast. But it still drains really well. And so I don't have, any issues with my plants rotting. I did lose one last year, but we had one night here, and I believe it was New Year's Eve. We got 5 inches of rain overnight. Our whole property flooded, all the back. The front part was fine, but all the back, we had to shuffle animals everywhere. The horses were standing in 2 feet of water. We had to move them. Normally, we don't get that here in this area, so I don't worry about my plants being too wet. But so this will be good for them. They're gonna like this. It's nice and airy. It has a lot of pumice in there, and so it'll drain really well, and it will dry out. And my plants dry out really fast here, especially in the terracotta pots. And that's what I'm putting all these in. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the big one. And you know what? Hold on, I need 2 more things. Okay, so we'll start with this large one. And in case you're wondering why I mixed up so much soil for just these few little plants, it's because while I was at Green Acres, they had a ton of cactus on sale, a bunch of little ones, and one pretty good sized San Pedro, which I believe is an Echinopsis of some sort. And so I did go ahead and grab it because I wanted it. So I'll be potting those up too. I think I got about 6, mostly, small little cactus, but we'll save that for another video. Okay, so I'm using these tongs because silicone ends, I thought, they might not damage the cactus the way the metal ones that I usually use on some of my tougher cactus. So hopefully this won't hurt anything, but I want to get it up about that high. I think that would be good about right there. So fill it in around the edges. A little awkward here, kind of. Once you get it standing up, then it's a lot easier. But until it stands up, it's hard to get it centered and all that. I need my little thing that turns. Okay, so we're gonna tip you up this way, start packing this down a little bit. And this is kind of nice and loose, so it will probably sink a little bit, but that's okay. I don't mind that. If it's a tall cactus, it's not gonna spread out. Like sometimes you plant a succulent and it's a big leafy one, and as it starts to spread, if it sinks too much, the leaves start to get damaged. But this cactus, that's not going to happen because it's just going to grow straight up. And I'm not sure how fast these grow. I don't think they grow super fast, so it should be fine in here for a while. I just kind of tap it and make sure there's no sort of air bubbles down in there. And I did get a few different kinds of top dressing because I'm not really sure what I want to put on there. So we'll have to see. It looks like at one point it was trying to grow that way. So I will really make sure to watch it and see if I can't get it to grow, straight. And sometimes all you need to do is just keep turning them, every week. Give them a little quarter turn so they're not following the sun, depending on where you have it. So yeah, I can see it really has a wider side, curvy side. So we'll get all this just perlite all stuck in there from the traveling. brush it off down here. And this I just use as a little basting brush. And it works really good. It gets in between the spines. Down in here. This one, there we go. And yeah, I can see this one had a couple blooms on it. So he said in one of his videos, he was talking about how the way he propagates them. So if you take a piece off of a mature plant that's already flowering, you can get flowers potentially off of a much smaller cactus, because the cactus itself is not a baby. It's just small because it was either the top chopped off, or when they chop the top and it sends up more, sends more pups off, then they propagate those pups and they flower usually pretty quickly instead of having to wait a couple years. So I like that. I did put a piece of screen in the bottom of each one of these. So this one, and I got a little bit of egg crate still in here because all of the soil that fell out when I was unboxing those, I did add that back into here because that was a real nice soil mix. So I'm going to pack this down at the bottom. Now this cactus has really long roots, and so I want to make sure, so I picked a taller pot for this one and give those roots a little room. So let's go get it. Figure out which one it was. It was this First Light. So this one's really thorny. Have to be very careful. And you can see, check out how long these roots are. So I'm just gonna hold it here carefully, about here. I want to get all these roots down underneath there. And this one, it looked like it was growing really off the side. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like super curved. So I'm assuming this was growing off the side of a plant. And I need to set you down and get a grip over on, maybe on this side. Probably gonna break a few of the spines off, but that's okay. It'll be okay. And I kind of try to get it in the center. And now add some more soil. Whoa! And this will give those roots plenty of room to continue to stretch down if that's what it wants to do. It could just be that it was in a taller nursery pot, and so the roots just really grew where some of the other ones were in shorter pots, and so the roots stayed more compact. I don't know, but I know some plants, oops, don't lose my tag. Some plants have a very long taproot, and some of them, they don't have big long taproot, but their roots really like to stretch their legs. And so down they go, and I like to accommodate for that, if that's the case. And sometimes it just looks good if it's a taller, skinnier plant, which this one kind of is at this point. It looks nice in a taller pot. So I try to match the pot with the plant if I can. So I don't want to pack this down too hard because I don't want to damage those roots that are already probably stressed from being relocated. Okay, that looks okay. And get some of this perlite out of here without poking myself and whatever else is up in there. And then I'm leaving myself some room for the top dressing. I probably should leave a little bit more room, but I know the soil is going to sink down, so. And then what I'll do is probably just add more top dressing. So you can't tell. But yeah, this is going to be amazing when these guys flower. I might get lucky. I might actually get some blooms, because a lot of these, they'll bloom over and over throughout the year. A couple of my Echinopsis will bloom 2 or 3 times. And I know the Trichocereus, I think they're all basically Echinopsis. I think I heard somebody say that. They are all similar. But they can bloom over and over. And my whole reason for having all the cactus is because I love the flowers. You know, you can get beautiful flowers without having to water your plants every day. Okay, so I think that one looks good. I don't know why they insist on sticking tags on the pots. Why do they do it? Put it on the inside, especially the ones that are hard to peel off, because that looks horrible. And now there's glue on there, so dirt will stick to that. But whatever, that's okay. Okay, so there is number 2 down, and we will put her over here. And, you know, I may speed this up when I edit. I don't know. Because to me, this is kind of boring just watching this. Well, I shouldn't even say that. To me, I think it would be boring to other people, because I myself love to sit and watch people pot up their plants. I like to put people's channels on and they're doing a video of planting up something, you know, and I sit in the morning, drink my coffee, and just kind of watch, and I like that. Okay, let's go for our little Betty Boom. And her roots are pretty compact. So I'll raise this up a little bit more, a little bit more. I think that looks about right. I was just gonna stand there, so that's nice. So we'll get, and I'm not gonna mess with her roots because I don't feel like I need to. It doesn't look like it was really root bound. And so, you know what, doesn't matter how careful I am, I never get them centered. They're always off to one side or the other. But normally what I do with most of my plants, if you'll notice, if you ever watch any of my videos of wandering around out there, is I put little things in here. I have a lot of little animals that I stick in the pot alongside the plant. Those little, I think they're made out of some kind of resin. And so I look for the skunks and badgers and, you know, any kind of little deserty animals that I can find it wherever. That one doesn't really want to move. I don't want to force it. I like to stick them along the edges. Okay, that one looks good. Whew. And I don't really, wasn't much. This one has pretty short spines. So this one kind of reminds me more of what my Echinopsis feel like. But I'm pretty sure this one was labeled as Trichocereus. Pretty sure. Could be wrong. But it does have a different feel. Okay. Let's see. Who are we doing next? We got one more fatty. That one in there, and it looks like it has pretty short roots. I'll pack this down. Way down so it doesn't sink too much. Come and get this one. So now we're going for Arizona Sunset. Be careful because the spines look kind of fragile on this one. So I'm just going to set it right there. Oh, too low. Yeah, I think I want to raise that one up a little bit and add some more soil underneath because I want it a little bit higher. Yeah, maybe a little more. These are going to look so cool. And if you noticed, I went with this kind of darker sort of brown colored pot. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a series of these and just put them all in matching pots. That way, of all the plants that I get from Brent, I'll know just by looking at the pot that it was one of his. And that way I can keep track of, you know, which ones I have, because I do want to get some more. I'm going to probably send him another list next month and, you know, see if there's any more of the ones that I had originally wanted, if any more of those are available. And so eventually I'll have a really nice collection of these. And I'm horrible. I'm one of those that is just instant gratification. I don't want to wait. When I decide I want something, I want it now, and it kills me to have to wait. But sometimes You don't have a choice. And so, and I'm the kind of person, I don't spend money on myself. I don't go out and buy tons of clothes, shoes, makeup. You know, I don't do a lot of, I love getting a pedicure, but, you know, I don't do a lot of that kind of stuff. I pretty much spend all my money on my animals because we do run a potbelly pig rescue here. So a lot of our money goes to building sheds and, you know, putting in heaters and fans and all the stuff to make our animals comfortable, because we get crazy weather here, hot, cold, whatever. And so what's left over, I spend on plants, because it's one of my favorite things. There, especially cactus, because you don't have to, you know, they don't take a lot of care. If you set them up in the right conditions, it doesn't take much on a daily basis to keep them happy. I do have a few plants out on the front that I have to water every day, and if I forget, they will let me know. Okay, there's the Arizona sunset. 4 down, 2 to go. If you're still hanging around, I appreciate it. And let me know if you have any suggestions or what you think about this stuff, my little projects, because I always like advice. If you have any advice or ideas, you know, something that might be cool that I could try that I haven't thought of, or, you know, haven't seen somewhere else, that's always fun. Okay, so I got some smaller pots for these 2 last little ones because they're not very big, and this one's going to want a little more room than I thought. Pull some of this back out. That's a little better. Whoa, this one's a little top heavy. There we go. I am cooking. It's so, I'm in the house and the air conditioner's on, set at like 72, but I'm just super warm. I guess it's just running around outside, I guess, because it's pretty humid today, which is unusual. We don't get humidity up here. But this year, we kind of have. We've had so much rain this year, which is really unusual also. And we've had humidity 40–50%, which, you know, I'm not used to. That's probably nothing compared to people back east. But for here, you just walk outside and suddenly you're glistening whether you want to or not. Okay, this one does not want to cooperate. I want you to stand up a little straighter. There you go. There we go. Now fill in a little more on this side. Pack it down a little bit. That looks better. Yeah, it looks a little better. And they're going to do what they want anyway. You know, you can plant them nice and straight, and you go out in 6 months and they're leaning to the left or leaning to the right, or, you know, they're just doing whatever they want to do. Okay, let's get all this out of there. Come on, you. Come on, you. This is just pumice, so it's like popcorn. And it gets into everything. But if the spines are wide enough apart, you can just sweep it right out. It's nice. Get out of there. One more on the top. Does not want to come off. There we go. All right. That looks good. Nice and straight. What is this? A little dead root sticking up there. Okay, that one's good. So that was Heat Wave. And we'll set this one off to the side. And the last one, where's my pot? Here you are. So I think this next one is the smallest one. And it doesn't look like it has a lot of roots, but then I thought the same for the last one. So this is Big Kahuna, and this is going to be one of my favorites, I can tell. But I got a feeling I'm going to have to wait a while because it's pretty small. But I am when it comes to things like that, I'm very patient. I buy a lot of plants small, and I know I said I'm like instant gratification. That's just getting the plant. Waiting for the plant to mature and flower, I'm perfectly fine buying little baby plants. And I do a lot because I know, whoops, easy there. I know the potential is there. And I know that I can't usually afford to buy great big plants. I did splurge this year, and I bought myself, well, my husband bought me, an actually pretty large golden barrel, a Chino Cactus grusonii, I believe it is. And I have a few small ones, but it'll probably be a few more years before they flower. So we got a pretty big one, and I think we paid $200 for it. So I was pretty happy, and it's already flowered. You can see it had spent flowers when I got it. So, and it looks like it's setting a couple more blooms, so it might flower again this year. I didn't know that it would flower multiple times in one year like a lot of other cactus, but I shouldn't be surprised. Cactus are amazing, and they are always surprising you. All the stuff off. Sometimes it's easier to take my tweezers and just get after some of the stuff that's stuck in between the spines. There. Okay. This one's a little crooked, but it's still really young, so it's a very small one. And that was Big Kahuna. This one's going to be amazing. I have to really make sure I take good care of these so that I don't lose them, because these are going to be so stunning, their flowers. So I'm going to get some top dressing on them, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we are all done, and I kind of went with some sort of river rock pebbles for a couple. I did rewrite the names on the tag so I could see them a little bit better, but I want to find some nice little tags for them. You know, you get all kinds of decorator kinds, and you know, maybe some metal ones to stick in here that will last. Here's the flying saucer. I used the same river looking pebbles on that one. On the heat wave, since this one's still young and really pretty lime green, I like the black pebbles because I think it really makes them stand out. So that's how this one looks. And it's in, you know, the short pot. This one's in kind of a wider, shorter pot. Give it some room. The first light, I like the jade pebbles. I use these a lot. They're just really pretty, lots of different colors down in there. I don't know if it shows up good on camera, but this has the tall skinny pot for those long roots. Flying saucer, I think we already looked at that one. Big wide pot, that should be able to stay in there for quite a while. Arizona Sunset also got the jade pebbles because it's just really pretty, like lime green, and that it really stands out like that. And if I plant a really light green one like this, that one's really pretty. If I plant that in a white pot with those black pebbles, which I've done with a lot of cactus, they look so pretty. They really stand out. But the light green and the black pebbles I really like. And then I love the jade. So if you follow my channel, and I hope you're a subscriber, if not, please subscribe. And you'll see in one of my other videos where I end up setting these guys. And let me know what you think. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next one when I pot up all my little cheapies that I got at Green Acres today. They're going to be really cool when they grow up. I was actually surprised to find the ones that I did there for like $3 a piece. So, all right, well, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and happy planting.